Good morning, children. In previous video, we started Geography Chapter 5, Elements of Weather and Climate. Based on this topic, I explained the meaning of weather and climate, their differences, what are the differences between the weather and climate, atmospheric temperature, and the different ways the heating of atmosphere take place. What are the different ways? The different ways are through convection, through conduction, through radiation, and through advection. And many factors which affect the weather and climate. So what are the factors which affect the climate and weather? So these are the temperature, humidity, rainfall, and wind. These are the different factors which affect weather and climate. Now, in this video, I am going to explain about the factors which affect temperature. Temperature is one of the main elements of weather and climate. Okay, temperature is one of the most important elements of weather and climate. Temperature can vary greatly over time and place. It means the temperature can have the different according to time and the different places. So temperature can have the variety on the basis of the time and the places. And from the equator to the poles. From the equator to the poles, the earth experiences a wide range of temperatures. Means near the equator, the temperature is very high. And as we move far away from the equator, the temperature decreases. So near the equator, the temperature is very high. And as we move far away from the equator, the temperature decreases. And near the pole, the temperature is very low. So there are many factors which affect the temperature of a place. So what are the factors which affect the temperature of a place? They are latitude, altitude, distance from the sea, and upper currents or prevailing winds, and ocean currents, and industrial emissions and conscription. So these are the different factors which affect the temperature of a place. Latitude, altitude, distance from the sea, upper air currents or prevailing winds, ocean currents, and industrial emissions and concretization. So first one is the latitude. Latitude means, what is the meaning of latitude? Latitudes are the parallel lines which runs from east to west. So the sun rays strike the surface of the earth. The sun rays strikes the surface of the earth at the different angles from the equator. Equator is having the 0 degree to the poles. And the pole there is a 90 degree. Equator is having 0 degree and the poles having 90 degree. While the equatorial region gets the Equatorial region means the region or the area which are near the equator. That is called the equatorial region. Equatorial region means the area which are near the equator. So this area gets the vertical rays of the sun. Vertical means straight. And the polar region get the slanting rays of the sun. Slanting means little tilted. So equatorial region gets the vertical rays of the sun. So the places which are near the equator, they receive vertical rays of the sun, and the areas or the region which are near the poles, they get the slanting rays of the sun. Why? What is the reason? Because of the shape of the earth. So already you know the latitude affect the temperature of a place. So the same amount of sunlight that is focused on the heats a smaller area at the equator. Why the equatorial region gets the vertical rays, and these places and the places which are near the equator, they receive more heat than the more heat and having high temperature. Why they are having the high temperature? Because they cover a very small area. Because they cover a very small area at the equator. It strikes the ground obliquely at the higher latitude and thus spread over a larger area, and the area which are near the pole, they receive slanting rays of the sun, and they cover a very large area. That's why the temperature is low. So the heating provided by the same amount of sunlight is more in the equatorial region. That's why the equatorial region receive more sunlight and having the high temperature, and heat is more than the higher latitudes. So hence the temperature decreases sharply towards the pole. That's why the temperature decreases as we move towards the pole. The temperature decreases, and this explains why there is a permanent cover of ice at the pole. And this is the reason the polar areas permanently cover with ice at the poles. So this is about the latitude. Next one is altitude. Altitude means height above the sea level. What is the meaning of altitude? Altitude means height above the sea level. So in summer, people prefer to go to place in hills to escape the heat. Most of you also prefer to go to the higher places or to the hill stations. Why you prefer to go to hill stations in the summer season? Because there is the temperature decreases with increase in altitude. Altitude means height above the sea level. And the troposphere and the temperature decreases at rate of 1 degree Celsius for every 160 meter. Okay. So as you know that the temperature decreases in the troposphere at the rate of 1 degree Celsius for every 160 meter ascent. Means this is called the normal lapse rate, and this happens because this happens because there is a densest air near the ground and thin rapidly with height. Okay, because the molecules of the air, they are very densest means very close to each other near the ground and very thin rapidly with the height. As we go high, height above the sea level, the molecules is little thinner and the denser there the air. The more is the heat that is trapped, and the thinner the air is, more is the heat that escape. So more the altitude of a place, the colder it will be. So the places which are located or situated at the great height from the sea level, so the places there is a cold weather. Why there is a cold weather? Because the troposphere, the temperature decreases at the rate of 1 degree Celsius for every 160 meter. Okay, and why the temperature decreases? Because near the ground the air is densest than the height above the sea level. Next one is distance from the sea. The next factor is distance from the sea. Some places along the coast, some places situated near the sea, and some places situated or located far away from the sea, means they have a great distance. So places along the coast usually experiences moderate climate. Moderate climate means neither too hot nor very cold, means equable climate, where the range of temperature is not high, unlike in landlocked region. Okay, so the temperature is not very high, and this is because of the coastal region. This is because of the coastal region experiences the moderating effect of the sea. This is because of the coastal region. Coastal region means the region which are near the coast. What is the meaning of coast? Where the land and sea meet. Experiences the moderating effect of the sea, and the land gets heated. Here the land gets heated faster than the sea, but it also cools down faster, means the land gets heated faster than the sea. मतलब यहाँ पर जो लैंड है वो समुद्र से जल्दी गर्म होता है और जल्दी ठंडा भी हो जाता है. So the ocean take long to heat up, but once heated take longer to cool down. Okay, but ocean's water is just opposite. It takes long time to heat up. Okay, it takes time to heat up, but once heated it take longer to cool down. ओशियंस जो है वह बहुत देर से गर्म भी होता है, और अगर एक बार गर्म हो गया तो वो उसको ठंडा होने में भी बहुत टाइम लगता है. सो व्हेन द कोस्टल एरिया हीट अप, winds from the sea cool it. Okay, when the coastal area heat up, so winds from the sea, जो समुद्र की तरफ से जो winds आती हैं वो इस एरिया को ठंडा कर देती हैं. And when the coastal area cool down, the heat is transferred from ocean to the land. And for example, Chennai, which is on the coast. Already you know the location of Chennai. Chennai is located near the sea coast. So the climate of Chennai is almost same temperature throughout the year, and the places in the interior far removed from the moderating influence of the sea, like Delhi or Jodhpur. Delhi, the distance of Delhi from the sea is more than the Chennai. So Delhi experiences very hot summer and very cold winter. But Chennai is located near the coast. So the climate of the Chennai is moderate throughout the year. So this is the distance from the sea, means the places which are near the coast having the moderate temperature, and the places which are having which are located far from the sea, or having the long distance between the place and the coast, they experience very hot summer and the cold winter. Next is prevailing winds. Prevailing winds. Prevailing winds are the planetary winds that are caused by formation of giant convection. Prevailing winds are also called planetary winds that are caused by the formation of giant convection. Convection means convection cells over the earth, and this prevailing winds blow from the hot region. You see this figure. Prevailing winds blow from the hot region to cold region. Okay, blow from the hot region of the earth like the tropics, to the cold area of the earth, like the temperate or the polar region. Means the prevailing winds, they blow from tropics to the polar region, and from the cold area back to the hotter region, and again they back from cold area to the hotter region. And winds from warm region increase the temperature of the cold places they blow into, and the winds from the cold region reduce the temperature of the hot places they blow into. The winds which are warm, winds from the warm region, they increase the temperature of the cold places though they blow into. मीन्स जो गर्म हवाएं जब ठंडे प्लेसेस से बहती हैं तो वहाँ का टेम्परेचर बढ़ा देती हैं. एंड द विंड्स फ्रॉम कोल्ड रीजन दे रिड्यूस द टेम्परेचर. और जो ठंडी हवाएं हैं वो वहाँ का टेम्परेचर रिड्यूस करती हैं. एंड ऑफ द हॉट प्लेसेस दे ब्लो इनटू. एंड द नेक्स्ट इज द ओशियन करेंट्स. Ocean currents. Ocean currents are the rivers of hot or cold water that flow within the oceans. Ocean currents are the river of hot or cold water that flow within the oceans, जो oceans में ही बहती हैं. And winds that blow over hot oceans current get heated and carry that heat onto land they blow over, raising the temperature of the coast. Similarly, winds that blow onto the land after passing over cold currents lower the temperature of the coastal region. So the currents which are, or the ocean's currents are the rivers of hot or cold water. So when the winds blow over the hot ocean's currents, so they get heated and carry the heat onto the land. Okay, carry the heat onto the land, and they are raising the temperature of the coast. Similarly, the winds which blow onto the land after passing cold currents. जो विंड्स हैं जो कोल्ड करेंट्स के पास के ऊपर से बहती हैं वो टेम्परेचर डिक्रीज कर देती हैं, एंड दे डिक्रीज द टेम्परेचर ऑफ द कोस्टल रीजन. नाउ इंडस्ट्रियल इमिशन, अर्बनाइजेशन एंड डिफॉरेस्टेशन. द concrete, the tar roads and the high-rise buildings that make up urban centers absorb heat and radiate it back onto the atmosphere. Means the concrete and the tar road. Concrete means the cemented road, and the tar road. Tar road means black color road. And the high rise buildings means high buildings. They make up the urban centers, absorb heat and radiate it back into the atmosphere, and the heat gets trapped into the in the lower layers of the atmosphere. Okay, and increase atmospheric temperature. Automobiles and industrial emissions. Automobiles means the smokes which come out from the vehicles, and the industrial emissions means smoke and the dust which comes out from the industrial emissions. And the in discriminate cutting down of the trees means deforestation. Indiscriminate cutting down of the trees means deforestation have also been responsible for the increase in atmospheric temperature. So industrial emission means the smoke and dust which comes out from the factories and industries. And urbanization means moving of people from village to urban areas or the cities and towns. They also increase the temperature of the atmosphere. And industry and deforestation also, because urbanization, the people are moving from village to cities and towns, and they need place to live and to construct houses for them, so they cut down the trees. Because of all these reason, the temperature of the atmosphere is increasing. So these are the factors which affect the temperature of a place. Now your homework is you learn glossary. Conduction, the transfer of energy through direct contact. Radiation, the transfer of heat through reflect rays. Advection, the horizontal transfer of energy through the mixing of winds. Prevailing winds are planetary winds caused by convection cells over the earth. Ocean current, a river of hot and cold water flowing in the ocean. Diurnal means daily weather, the general atmospheric condition of a place during a day. Climate, the average weather condition of a place over a long period of time. And convection, a vertical circulation of air due to temperature differences. So now your homework, learn glossary. Thank you. Have a nice day.